Cha-cha-cha. Bum, bum, bum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, folks. Hopefully you can hear me just now. Alright, Ferg's here. Representing Mighty Arabs. I'll maybe turn my video on at this time. Hello. Welcome to the quiz. Quiz is going to start in 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes to 3. Normally, this time of day, we'd be somewhere. Local View. Glebe Park. Who knows? But no football, not anymore. They're still talking about it on Radio Scotland. Just had a little listen around about 2 o'clock. Lot to talk about, lot to pack into the show, that sort of thing. But there's no actual football. So I thought, maybe do a quiz. And what better time than 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon? Let me turn this down a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. Did one last week. It was alright. It was pretty good. So I'm going to do another one this week. You're all welcome. So say hello if you're here, if you can hear me. Because I'm acting like you can hear me, but I don't actually know. Can you hear me okay? That's me asking in the chat if you can hear me. Just type in the chat if you can hear me. Let me know. Reassure me that everything's working properly. And then we can have a nice quiz. Yeah, I got a bit of a jazz look today. English boys are here. Alright. Thank you, Raymond. The English boys are back for more. Got whopped last week, but they got excellent. Hello, everybody. But they got a Scottish person in their team this week, so that might help. Hello, Jam Tarts. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Bobby Arse Biscuit. All one word. Bobby Arse Biscuit. Tremendous. Dodsy's back. Brian Pendray for the Dude Abides is here. 3 out of 4 of us. We can hear you. And I can see you, Brian. I can see your comments. And you were the winning team last week, so you got a lot to live up to. You got a reputation to defend. Hello, everyone who's coming in. It is 5 minutes to 3. It's nearly quiz time. We're going to do the quiz at 3 o'clock. Do me a favour if you can. Share it. Share this quiz with somebody who might like it. If you like Scottish football, then you probably know somebody else who likes Scottish football. Someone who's going to miss out. Unless you share this with them right now. Right, Jamie. Hope everybody's well. Hope no one's suffering from the COVIDs, the coronas, or the side effects of that, which is, of course, being mental, because we're indoors. Tell me what team you support. Tell me that in the chat. Tell me where you'd normally be at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. At 4 minutes to 3, getting quite exciting, you know. Teams have done their warm-up. Have I got a league table from last week? Yes, I'll show you in just a minute. Jamie. But for me, this is one of the best parts of Saturday afternoon, usually. Just a couple of minutes to 3 o'clock. Teams have done their warm-up. They've gone off. It's just a wee, come on. You know, that kind of buzz. These days, I would normally be found at Ainsley Park. It's not too far from here, in Edinburgh. Go and see Edinburgh City. Or the Spartans. Not really fussed, you know. Bobby Arse-Biscuit would go and see Servette FC. Really? Who's that? What are they? Are they Swiss? Is that right? Hello, Michael. You going to stop swearing? Well, it's up to you. It's your mouth. It's your mouth, innit? Elland Road for Ollie. Leeds United. Hibs, baby. The sexy team. Right, I'm 47. I've never seen Hibs described as the sexy team. Tannadice, newly promoted, I sort of. Quiz is going to start in 3 minutes. Geneva. Yeah, that's Switzerland, isn't it? I should know that. I'm a quiz master. Servette FC. Is that where you live? Do you go and see local Swiss team? What kind of crowd do they get? Do you get a pie? Do you get mad guys just swearing their heads off? How like Scotland, or how dislike Scotland? How unlike Scotland is it? Sheepy boys are back again. Hello, King. Hello, Groundhopper. Bradford Park Avenue, most likely. Is that a team? Bradford Park Avenue. Or is that a ground? My knowledge of English football is a little bit like Ollie's knowledge of Scottish football. It's pretty non-existent. Bradford, I'm just looking it up. Bradford Park Avenue AFC. English football club based in Bradford, West Yorkshire. Name is derived from the club's old stadium on Horton Park Avenue in Bradford, and was used to avoid confusion with Bradford City. Yeah, alright. However, the club is traditionally known locally simply as Bradford. So let's have a look. Bradford Park Avenue. Ooh, they've got Partick Thistle colours. Nice. What league are they in? Let's have a look. National League North. Fantastic. You can buy beer at the Swiss ground. That's good. Yeah, right, ground topper. I see. Yeah, got voted out of the Football League. Voted out. Didn't go bust or anything like that. They got voted out. So I think that was the old system where you used to finish bottom, and then, but it didn't automatically mean you were out the league. They would have to have a vote. You can get a drink in the stadium. Yeah, right, for Servette. Yeah, that's... Surely that needs to come back here in Scotland. You know. That's civilised, isn't it? Having a tenant's lager or 6 while watching the football. Loads of guys do hip flasks anyway. Right, it's 3 o'clock. Let's get started. Let's do the quiz. I'm still trying to deal with the fact that Hibs are the sexy team to some people. The sexy team. Right, everybody, it's quiz time. Let me turn off the slideshow here. And let me get to this so you can see things moving on. Right, okay. This is a pub quiz format, so I'm going to ask you rounds of questions about Scottish football. I'll get to exactly how it works in a second. Let's see what we got. I'm asking you for some social media juice. If you can hashtag DP quiz, if you can share me, if you like the video, that's really great. Thanks very much. And if you subscribe, that's terrific. Right. That's not tonight. Oh, you know what? I've got the wrong slideshow. This is last week's quiz. Hang on a second. That's a good start. Completely the wrong quiz. Right, it's number 18. That's what we want. But you can see all this, can't you? There we go, from the beginning. And I'll just go to that one and turn it off. There we go. Right, okay, here's this week's quiz. So live quiz starts very soon. I'll try and hit the first question in about 3 minutes, about 3:05. House rules are no Tories, no racist, none of that sort of thing. Please, thank you very much. And I think I just need to just shrink the slideshow a little bit so it fits on the screen. See, I had that all set up. I had completely the wrong PowerPoint. Right, okay. Here's how the quiz works. So it's 6 rounds of 5 questions, and every round I ask the questions. You answer as a team. So you get a bit of pen and a paper and a bit of pen, and write down the answers as we go. After each round, I'll tell you the answers, and you mark yourself. It's an honour system. There are prizes today, but there's no prizes for coming first. So there's no point in cheating. You can cheat if you want, but it doesn't really do anything, if you know what I mean. You can ask me for clarity if you're not sure whether to give yourself points or not. Ask me in the chat, but don't shout out answers in the chat as we go. You just write down the answers, all right? And I'll tell you the answers after every round. So that's why that's in red. That's important. Don't shout out answers in the chat. All the questions are about Scottish football, different types of rounds. Nothing too heavy. Try to aim this at people who are not, absolutely people who know everything. But we'll see how we go. You tell me if it's well pitched or too easy or too hard. You tell me that later. So that's how to play. Quick word about tomorrow. I'm Dr. Paul. I do quizzes online, and tomorrow night I've got Edinburgh versus Glasgow versus the rest of the world. This is general knowledge, not Scottish football. It's a rematch. Last time we had that, Edinburgh trounced Glasgow. So if you represent the G, come back here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. You're going to get revenge in the rematch over Edinburgh. Right. I have already been asked for last week's scores. This is last week's scores. Look, the dude abides. No, still haven't got that right. I'll go like that. See? The dude abides were last week's winners. 63 points. Beast Appreciation Society were up there. Walt from Team Walt were going strong. Jamie Gray, who's back again today, is on 57. So that's last week's scores, and they kind of go down there. You know, Steam Dodgy, P Solo, Sheepy Boys are back today. Ollie and Dave the English right at the bottom of the table. Okay. Right, everybody good? Everybody ready? Here we go. I'm ready. So that was last time. Now, no sponsor. If you want to sponsor the quiz, get in touch. Put your product in front of people, but no sponsor today. So there's a picture of Dave Narate getting it right up. Brazil. Right, round 1 is the same letter round. That's important. That means that all of the answers in the first round begin with the same letter of the alphabet. So once you've got the letter, it's easy. You know what I mean? Hopefully you're talking to your team via Zoom or WhatsApp. Some people are just playing by themselves. It's all good. Don't shout out the answers in the chat. Just write down the answers as we go. You ready? Here we are. So question number 1 is about the buddies. Who was manager of Saint Mirren from 2010 to 2014? And that's a spell that included their League Cup victory of 2013. So who was the boss of Saint Mirren during that time? From 2010 to 2014, and that included their League Cup victory in 2013. Alright, High Bees Home Malone, welcome. Rubber Gun Squad going solo, alright. Question number 2 is a jail question. Which Rangers player received a 3-month jail sentence in 1995 for an on-pitch assault that took place in 1994? I think most of you will know that one. That's question number 2. Remember, the 5 answers in the first round all begin with the same letter. So that's the big clue. Once you get the letter, you can guess the ones you don't know, if you don't know any. If there are any you don't know. Question number 3, I'll go over these again, by the way, before we do the answers. But question number 3, who was Brazil captain when Brazil beat Scotland 2-1 in the opening match of France 98? Was it 2-1? You know, I didn't even look that up. I just typed that. I think it was 2-1. So, but who was Brazil captain? That's the question. when Brazil beat Scotland in the opening match of France 98 World Cup. All the answers start with the same letter, remember that. Number 4, nicknames. This should give you the letter if you don't have the letter already. Who are the Pars? Simple as that. Who are the Pars? Keep this round fairly easy, you know what I mean? Just to get an ease into the quiz. Might get a little tougher later on. And number 5, actually this might be difficult if you don't know it. What is the name of the Turner Prize nominated artist who designed the Partick Thistle mascot Kingsley? You know, Kingsley. Okay, so that's the first round. All answers begin with the same letter. So once you've got 5 answers, let me know you're ready. I'll quickly go over the questions again, just in case you missed any. Who was Saint Mirren boss when they won the League Cup in 2013? Who got jail, a 3-month jail sentence in 95 for an on-pitch assault from the previous year? That's number 2. Number 3, who was Brazil captain when Brazil beat Scotland in the 1998 World Cup? The opening game of that Mondial. Great excitement on the day. I watched it at the art school in Glasgow. It's terrific. Who are the Pars? Number 4, and the last one. What's the name of the guy who designed Kingsley, the frightening Partick Thistle mascot? So let me know when you're ready. And it looks like, is the chat frozen? At my end. Nah, it's okay. Bobby Arse Biscuits ready. Team's called No Flour in Scotland. Splendid. So you let me know when you've got your answers ready, and then I can get on to giving you the answers for this round. So we've got one team ready at the moment. If anyone missed any, let me know. Jamie Gray's ready. Patrick Conway's ready. Looks like nice weather outside. I'm going to go out after this. Going to go to the park. Or maybe a bit further. Park's full of people. Didn't want that. Right, we've got a couple more readies. You tell me when you're ready. Count Rossi is ready. And if you're waiting for other people to be ready, you can always like the video or share it. Get a few more folk in the door. Right, Barclay, you're ready. Okay. I think two more readies. There we go. We've got 2 more readies. Let's get on with it. By the way, I'm hoping to get the quiz done before 4. You know, just before 4. Just before the normal second half kickoff. Okay, same letter answers. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Here we go. Here are the answers. Did you get the letter, first of all? It's letter D. I'm sure you did. There was a couple of giveaways in there, so... letter D. Well done if you got a letter. By the way, you give yourself a 2-point start if you were here last time. Okay? That's a voucher. That's a loyalty bonus. You get 2 points if you're here last time. If you're a first timer, you get no 2 points. But you get 2 points for each of these answers. Number 1. Who was the manager of Saint Mirren 2010 to 2014? Won the League Cup in that time. It was Danny Lennon. There he is with the cup. Danny Lennon for 2 points. Who got jail for an on-pitch assault? It was old Duncan Disorderly himself, Duncan Ferguson. 2 points for that. You get 2 points for every correct answer in this first round. Number 3, who was the Brazil captain when they beat Scotland in the opening game of France 98? It was Dunga. Dunga. There he is. Why is a man called Dunga? I should probably have found that out before, but I still don't know. If you know why Dunga's called Dunga, why is he named after like a pile of dung? Then let me know. Who are the Pars? That's Dunfermline FC. The Pars. There they are. Pride of Dunfermline. You know, they've got quite a nice park there, but that badge is saying it's the football team that are The pride of Dunfermline. Okay. And the art question, who is the designer of Kingsley? He is called David Shrigley. So well done if you got that one. Slightly more tricky one at the end. There is David Shrigley. Haha, on the left. Kingsley on the right, of course. Right, tell me how many points you got. Tell me your marks out of 10. Dunga is one of the 7 dwarfs in Portuguese. Yeah, I thought I knew that. You know, when I was just asking you, I was thinking, is it something to do with 7 dwarfs? Because he's shite. Yeah, it could be that. The one with the purple hat. Yeah, what, is it not Dopey? Is it not Dopey out of the 7 dwarfs? Is that not Dunga? Is he meant to, is he daft? Is he like slow-witted? Dunga the footballer. Is he backwards educationally? Can he do his shoes up and stuff? Does he have a guy to do that for him? 8 out of 10 for Nicky. That's alright. Didn't know the art question. Didn't know the artist. Yeah, it's a difficult one, that. Hilarious. David Shrigley. Like, I got a book of his a few weeks ago when the charity shops were still open. That's another thing I miss. And it's very funny. Funny kind of cartoons. A sorry 8 out of 10? I don't think so. 8. I think 8 is par for the course in that round. I think a lot of people wouldn't have known David Shrigley. P. Solo's here. My brother is named Duncan Ferguson. Is he tougher than you then? He is supposed to be a bit stupid. What Dunga the footballer? Or... yeah, I guess he is. Okay, very good. Right, keep a note of your score. We'll upload the scores at the end of the quiz and we'll make a league table similar to last week. Alright? That's all the answers there, by the way. All together. But I think you got them all. No one's saying what was that. So let's move on. So if you got 8 out of 10 and you had a voucher from last time, then you've got 10. So you add on your 2-point voucher if you were here last time. Dude abides, last week's winners, Miss David Shrigley. Alright, let's move on. Picture round. Here we go. 2 points for every right answer in this round. So, first one here. Memorable debuts. Name the player being sent off and the player being carried off in this 1986 match at Easter Road. Yeah, Brian's asking the question, did anybody get David Shrigley? Let us know if you did. So, but name the player being sent off and the player being carried off here. That's 1 point for each part of that. That's picture number 1. Picture number 2. Which Premier Club's mascot is this? What the hell is that thing? Or rather, what club does it represent? I mean, it's not... I mean, compared to Kingsley, it's pretty friendly looking. Well, the Dafty Dills got 12 points, so they must have got David Shrigley. So that's number 2, name the club. Number 3, name the club again. Whose home ground is this? Have a good look at that. A bit of lower league action in the Scottish game. Which club's home ground is this? I'll give you a clue. I could hardly see one end of the ground for Har last time I was there. I'm glad you vouched for the Shrigley cartoons, James. I genuinely really, really funny. Hilarious. I was working on the front line last Saturday. Demand my voucher points. The front line. I'm not going to make any jokes. Nah, if you weren't here, you don't get a voucher. If you've been at one of my quizzes before, then you get a voucher. You don't. It didn't have to be last Saturday. If you've been to any Doctor Ball quiz before, then you get your 2 points voucher. Right, which club play home games here? That's number 3. Number 4, south of the border. So which English club did Jim Baxter play for? 1965 to 1967. The famous keepy-uppy tormentor of the English was playing in England Those years, 1965 to 1967. That's him pictured at the club. What club was it? That's question number 4. And here's number 5. Is a vintage question. I had one of these last week. Have a look at the crowd, and just judging by their garb and how they're looking, what year would you say that is? It's Rangers fans. They're at the Scottish Cup final. What year do you think that is? Okay. You don't have to get a spot on. If you get within, I don't know, 3 years, I think, I'll give you the points for this one. So have a look at what they're wearing. Still quite a few sort of, well, actually not that many. I was going to say quite a few flat caps, but there's only 1 or 2. So it's after the hat era. Guys are still turning up in shirt and tie. But there are scarves. Like bar scarves and coloured scarves and stuff. Is there? Yeah, maybe not bar scarves, but you know, there's a bit of scarf action going on. So have a guess at that one. Right, tell me when you're ready. Michael's claiming shame for not getting Danny Lennon because he's a hippie and Danny Lennon's ex-hippie. Well, yeah, you can't know everything about everybody. Like I'm Partick Thistle fan more or less, and Danny Lennon was instrumental for Partick Thistle for a little while, but I wouldn't necessarily have remembered him. Can you say number 1 again? Yeah. I'll just quickly go through them again. Dodds 8. So number 1 is name both players. The guy being sent off wearing blue, and the guy being carried off wearing green, with a great big bloody mess coming out of his right knee. Ouch. So name both players. 1 point for each one. Jamie's ready. Yeah, you tell me when you're ready, folks. Number 2, which club is the mascot for? Bonus point if you can name the mascot. One bonus point if you name the mascot. 2 points for the club, but 1 point if you actually get the name of the mascot. Okay. Whoops. Whose ground is that? Lower league. Subject to har. No har in that picture. Nice clear day. Number 4. Who did Jim Baxter play for? 65-67. English club. And the last one was have a guess at the year. So, let's have a look. Jamie's ready. M. Eden is ready. Welto Scotty's ready. CC Baxter, Patrick Conway, No Flower in Scotland. We're ready, ready, ready. Danny Lennon loves to talk about himself in the third person. That drives me nuts. My daughter's got a teacher who does that at the moment. Mrs. May. Mrs. May has found your work quite acceptable. It's like, really? Fuck's sake, you know. Can you talk about yourself in the third person, folks? Dr. Paul says that's a terrible idea. Right, okay, plenty if you're ready. Let's get on with the answers. See what you got. 2 points for each of these. Okay. I think most of you would have got the Rangers player. That was his debut. That's why it's memorable debut. It's Graham Souness. And he's been sent off for a high-studied challenge on the knee of George McCluskey. That was the Hibs player. So 1 point for Graham Souness, 1 point for George McCluskey. I think the Souness part of that is easier. Very, very, very famous at the time. Okay. So you understand. 1 point for each part of that. Right. Number 2. I said 2 points if you get the club. I said, in case you didn't hear me, 1 bonus point if you know the name of the mascot. It's for Kilmarnock, and the mascot is called Nuts because it's a squirrel. Yeah, don't look nothing like a squirrel apart from the bit. But other than that, it doesn't really look like a squirrel. But it's meant to be a squirrel. Nuts of Kilmarnock. Well, we've had 2 mascot questions already. The ground. Now, some of you big fancy Premier League people might not know this because you don't lower yourself to places like this, which is where the real action happens. That is Lynx Park. It is the the ground of Montrose FC. The Gable Endies. The Gable Ends are at the other end. Like off camera to the left. So 2 points for Montrose. Did you get this one? Baxter played for Sunderland. Jim Baxter played for Sunderland during those years. He went from Rangers to Sunderland. Sunderland. I'm wondering if maybe some of you said Southampton, because it's a similar tap. But that's at Roker Park, Sunderland. And the last one, number 5. Give yourself the points if you got within 3 years of this. So, Rangers fans at the Cup final, 1966. So if you said between 63 and 69, then you got the points. Tell me what you got. Tell me your score. Tell me which ones you got wrong. Because it's always interesting to know which ones you got wrong and how you got them wrong. And thanks for coming and doing the quiz today. If the numbers go up, we'll do another one next week. So, I'll give you the list of answers. Right, so Graham Souness, George McCluskey, Kilmarnock, brackets nuts. So you get an extra point. So you could get 11 points in this round. Montrose, Sunderland, and 1966. 8 out of 11 for M. Eden. I think that's pretty good. That was slightly tricky round. A lot of you big timers wouldn't know Montrose. Easy to put Southampton instead of Sunderland. Difficult to get the year. You missed the ground. Yeah. Just 1 year out on the year. Well, you get the points. Yeah. If you're anywhere between 63 and 69, you get 2 points. 6. And we're flying now. We got a jock on time. Says Ollie. Went for Peterhead instead of Montrose. Yeah. That's reasonable. It's another hard, susceptible, ground. You got a Hibby player. Nice. 15 so far for PM Tension. Pretty good. Thought Baxter played for Stoke. I think he did later on. Obviously, red and white stripes. Yeah, you can play for... That could have been Stoke as well. True. I never thought of that. But he fell out of Rangers over money. No, he didn't. He didn't play for Stoke. He played for Sunderland, then Nottingham Forest, and then he went back to Rangers for a wee while. So that was... I never even thought of Stoke. Of course, Stoke got the red and white stripes. Right, okay. Let's carry on. What have we got next? What's the next round? Oh, it's just a quick anagram. This is not a full round. This is just 3 points. I'm going to give you about a minute to get this anagram. You've got right up until when I reveal the answer to get the answer. And if you manage to get it before I reveal it, you give yourself 3 points, okay? So, Prince or Karate. What is that an anagram of? It is a place. Raymond says, I've been to Montrose. Hearts got gubbed there in the League Cup in the 70s. It probably didn't look much like that, though, at the time, because the houses at the end of the picture look newer than that, Raymond. So I'm guessing it looked a little different. The other end of the ground's more traditional looking. That looks like it's been there for a long time. I've only been there once. Montrose versus Cowdenbeath. Great game. Aye, nuts with a Z. Nuts. Nuts the squirrel. How mad is that? Right. So I'll give you a few more seconds to try and get this anagram. Rearrange those letters, Prince or Karate, to give the name of a place, obviously to do with Scottish football. Because that's what this whole quiz is about. The culture. The sport. The fun. The game. Just filling in time here as you solve the anagram. Right, I think you've had about a minute. I really should get a timer or something like that, but I'm just kind of using my instinct. Oh, but there is actually a timer up there. I could use that. A black and white Wednesday night. Actually, tell me when you're ready. When a couple of people tell me they've got it, then I'll reveal it. Tell me if you think you have this anagram, and I'll stop it. No one's telling me. Right, maybe none of you have got this. It's another sort of lower league situation. Patrick's ready. Martin's got it. Right, that's enough. Let's see. So, you've got right up until I reveal this to give yourself 3 points. If you get the anagram, it's a place, it's a ground, it's the home of Alloa, it is Recreation Park. Okay? Recreation Park is the answer. Currently known as the Indo Drill Stadium or something like that. Forget about it. It's the Rex. Recreation Park. That's it. So 3 points if you got that one. And we'll move on to the next round. So the next round is a pick 5 round. Now, I'm going to show you a selection of answers and you answers. So, which 5 of these players were in the starting lineup last time Scotland played England at Hampden, which was June 2017, competitively? I don't know if we've played them since. And we're talking about the men's team, obviously. The women played each other at last year's World Cup, but last time the men played competitively. Which 5 of these players were in the Scotland starting lineup? So, Craig Gordon, David Marshall, Ikechi Anya, James Morrison, John McGinn, Lee Griffiths, Scott Brown, Stephen Fletcher, and Stephen Naismith. Which of those players were in the starting lineup when Scotland faced England at Hampden, World Cup qualifier? Of course, England went on to win the World, well, nearly win the World Cup. Didn't quite win the World Cup, but they nearly did. Who was it that beat them? Oh yeah, Croatia. And that's a lot of fun. It got to that point where England believed that they were going to do it, and they did that thing that they always do, where they just think, oh, it's just Croatia, we'll just beat them. But they didn't beat them. But then the real shame's on us, because there's less people in Croatia than there is in Scotland, and they still do really well, and we are absolute garbage these days in terms of results. Anyway, pick 5 and tell me when you're ready. Pick the 5 players on that list that were in the starting lineup for that game in 2017 at Hampden. Sunny day. Good game, good game. And you tell me when you are ready, and I'll show you the answers. Does anyone care about Scotland anymore? It's getting harder and harder to care about them. You know, the men's team. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or because Scotland are just poor. But I feel myself caring less and less, you know. When I was in my 20s and that, it felt like it mattered, you know. Right, a lot of people just all of a sudden told me that they're ready. Well, 4 people did. Ready, ready, ready. Okay. Couple more. When I get more or less a screen full of readies, then I decide, right, that's probably enough time. Also keep an eye on the time, which is going pretty well. It's about 3:30. We're about halfway through this. We'll upload all the scores at the end. Okay, so it's good. Right, give me a few more seconds and then I'm going to show you the answers. So pick the 5 players that were in the starting lineup for Scotland versus England at Hampden, June 2017. June the 10th. See, I know that. Alright, here we go. Here come the answers. So, the pick 5 round. Here come the answers. So, here are the 5. You give yourself 2 points for each one of these that you got correct. So, starting probably with the most obvious, because he was the guy who scored the goals, was Lee Griffiths. Alright, scored 2 free kicks in the last few minutes to put Scotland 2-1 up before old Ballbag got an equaliser for the English. Game finished 2-2. Who else was playing that day? Captain was Scott Brown. He got booked, obviously. Craig Gordon was in goal. Ikechi Anya was playing. He got subbed off before the goals towards the end of the game. And James Morrison subbed at half-time. So that was the 5. David Marshall and Stephen Naismith were unused subs that day, and McGinn and Fletcher were not in the squad. So tell me what you got. How many? You get 2 points for each of those right answers, so maximum 10 points. Tell me what you scored. While I have a little drink of water. Oh, is it good? I thought that was quite difficult. I would have got league. I didn't watch the game. I was had to go to a social function that day. Some of the men, you know, had the game on in the other room. Managed to get bits of it, but I didn't watch the whole game. But I would have known that Lee Griffiths was the scorer. So I would have got Lee Griffiths, but the rest I would have had to guess, I think. Good scores. 8 points, 10 points. Went for Naismith instead of Morrison. Yeah, I would have done that. That's what it's like having a superstar Scot in your team, Ollie. Ollie's a Leeds fan, and he's not old enough to remember the good old days when the Leeds team was stuffed full of Scottish talent, but now he's getting a hint of what it was like, you know? Things are going okay, but then you get a Scottish guy in and you start winning. That's what it's like. Raymond says our team has been organised by Neil Doncaster, so we are in disarray. Well, we could just stop the quiz there and relegate you. How about that? Alright. You were at the game. It looked like a good game, to be honest. Roller coaster of emotion in the stand. That's superb. Oh, man. That's what I like about this quiz. It's quite emotional, remembering these things. Right, so 2 points for each of those. Let's move on. We've got 3 rounds to go. I think I did have a bit of paper there telling me what's coming up, but I've discarded that somewhere, so I'll just have to wing it. So correct score. This is a good round. Came up with this at the last minute last week, and I quite like it. So, well, yeah, you're a Hearts man, Raymond. I'm a Partick Thistle man, so we're both in the same hoo-ha there. Well, I mean, Hearts have to wait and see. Partick Thistle are relegated, unless we have to wait and see as well. Might be reconstruction. It's too complicated. I'm just going to forget about it until they've made their minds up, you know. All right, anyway, correct score. So I'm going to show you 5 famous games. Well, I'm going to show you 5 games. Some of them are more famous than others. And you have to try and remember what the score was, okay? Now, if you get the right result, like draw, or you get the right team who wins, you get 1 point. But if you get the exact right score, you get 2 points, okay? So check out each of these fixtures from the past and try and remember what the score was. The first one is this. 1987 UEFA Cup final, second leg. Dundee United versus IFK Gothenburg. So that was the second leg of that tie. Who's the last Thistle player to play for Scotland? I've got no idea. I don't know. Rough? Is it that long ago? I don't know. So Dundee United versus Gothenburg. Second leg of the UEFA Cup final, 1987. Try and remember the correct score. If you get the right result, like win, draw, or loss, you get 1 point. But if you get the exact right score, you get 2 points. Okay. Next one. Not quite as historical, but still significant in terms of last season, or the season that's kind of finished, is Celtic versus St Johnstone, 3rd of August 2019. So right at the start of the season that just began, or just finished rather. You know what I mean? 2019 to 2020. The COVID season, the Corona season, the pandemic season. It is, James. Well, it's alright. You know, rough with it smooth. Number 3 in the correct score round is this. Scotland versus Uruguay, 1986 World Cup, Mexico at Nezahualcóyotl. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. When I was putting this together, I was thinking it was Querétaro, which I do know how to pronounce Querétaro. And I've been to Querétaro, but I've never been to Nezahualcóyotl. Nezahualcóyotl, I don't know. They usually, in the word during the 1986 World Cup, they just call it Neza. But anyway, Scotland versus Uruguay, what was the score? Number 4 in this correct scores round is an absolute belter. Cowdenbeath versus East Kilbride, 2017 League 2 playoff after extra time. Right? So after 120 minutes, what was the score? It was a draw at 90 minutes, but what was the score at full time? Cowdenbeath, East Kilbride, League 2 playoff, second leg. I've got to make that clear because it was the second leg. And the last one, not Scottish football, but a Scottish manager. West Brom versus Manchester United. This was Alex Ferguson's last game. Thanks, Raymond. Last game as manager of Man U. What was the score? Do you remember? Obviously, a Scotsman leading the way down there for many, many years, many successful years as the boss of Manchester United. But what was the score in his last game as manager? West Brom versus Manchester United. Right, you tell me when you're ready, and I will reveal the scores. So, you know how this goes. Correct result, you get 1 point. Exact right score, you get 2 points. I should make it 3, shouldn't I? But I'll just keep it at 2 now. How do you get 2 points for a question if the score's a draw? Don't understand your question, Jamie. Listen to this. You write down a score. You write down what you think the score is, okay? If you're correct, if you get a correct result, like you predict the correct winner of the game, or you predict that it's a draw, you get 1 point. But if you get the exact right score, then you get 2 points. You get it? I've got to think of a way of explaining that and make it really simple. I've got to think of a compact description of the scoring there. The most compact thing I can think of is 1 point for a correct result, 2 points for a correct score. I think that explains it. A couple of you are ready. A couple more from you and I'll tell you the scores. Ferg mentioned that he was at the Dundee United Gothenburg game in 1987. I was at one of these games. I wonder if you can guess which one that I went to. Aye, don't worry, Jamie. Being hungover is one of the ways to deal with this lockdown thing. And I support that approach. I think we all do. I think the bottom line is, if you have a few Tennent's Lager or similar booze, then what's the harm? You know? Right, quite a few of you are ready. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds and then I'm going to show you these scores. I'm glad I thought of this round. It's a good one. It always amazes me how good people are at remembering scores. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. Even games I've been to. You know what I mean? There's Count Rossi putting the boot into Jamie. Okay. Let's have a look. We've got plenty if you're ready, so I'm going to show you the answers. Decide now if you're still swithering. Get some figures down there, and let's have a look. Here are the correct score answers. So, the first one is Dundee United 1, IFK Gothenburg 1. That was the full-time score. And it meant that Gothenburg won the UEFA Cup because they had won the first leg 1-0. So, but 1-1. So if you said any draw, if you said 0-0, for example, then you get 1 point. But if you got exactly 1-1, then you get 2 points. Yeah, it is a tough round. But it's good because like it's tough to get all the points, but it's relatively easy to get, 1 point for, each question. Anyway, number 2, the only significance of this is that it was the largest winning margin in the Premier League for the season just finished. So Celtic 7, St Johnstone 0. Maybe I should have given you that as a clue. 7-0. That was the biggest winning margin of the season that's just finished. Number 3, 0-0. If you're my age, you'll remember this. Scotland went into the game just needing a win. And the Uruguay player got sent off about 2 minutes into the game, something like that, 90 seconds into the game. Halved Gordon Strachan. Immediately got sent off. Batista, was he called? Something like that. So you're watching the game and you're thinking, right, we've got a whole game to play against 10 men. Surely we're going to win. 0-0. So 1 point if you got a draw. Both points if you said 0-0. Number 4. This is the game I went to, Groundhopper. It was League 2 playoff. I think the first leg was a draw. The final score was 1-1. And that was after extra time. And it must have been 1-1 through there because it was away goals counted and it went on to penalties, which Cowdenbeath won 5-3. But at the end of extra time, it was 1 each. And it was played in some of the worst rain I've ever been in as a fan. And there's no cover there. Not on I was with the East Kilbride fans. Yeah. Yeah, it was gigantic before the game, James. Right, and the last one. Wait, did you get this right? Another draw, by the way. 4 of these were draws. West Brom 5, Manchester United 5. Massive goal fest right at the end of Fergie's career. Did away goals not count? I don't know. They went on. I know they went on to penalties anyway in the Cowdenbeath East Kilbride game. But 5-5, West Brom, Manchester United. Correct score 2 points. Correct result 1 point. So you tell me what you got. Tell me what you scored. How's the hair today? It's alright. It's okay. It's pretty good. Oh, for God's sakes. Brian says, we thought you wanted the actual result. I don't know how to be more clear. Right? Tell me the score. Like, I've what do you mean the actual result? How's that different to the score? It's 1 point if you get the right result. In other words, a win, draw, or loss. It's 2 points if you got the exact correct score. So, am I being really unclear? Am I like, tell me if I am. 6. 10 out of 10 for Nicky Thoyers. 5 for Michael, saying it's whack. I don't know. I think that's a difficult round. There's a mix of obscurity and fame in that round. Obviously, Dundee United one and the Scotland one, probably the best known games. The other one's a little bit obscure. Okay. Didn't get a Man United score. CC Baxter says no. I don't know what that is. Is that to my question, am I being unclear? To which you'll probably say no or yes. Perfectly clear. Right, okay. Yeah, I thought so. Score would include penalties. No. Well, that's why yeah, Brian, that's why I put after extra time in the brackets. And that's what, when I was reading the question, I said at 120 minutes. So I try to be as clear as I can. And look, Michael stoned out his box and still gets it. So I feel vindicated. I feel much better reading that. Thank you, Michael. Right. Guess Who? It's time for Guess Who. So I've got there's a person hiding behind hiding behind the grid here. I'm going to reveal 6 squares at a time and give you a clue. After each 6 squares, I'll ask you to guess who the person is. Write down an answer. Okay? Even if you don't know it, just write something down. Then I'll reveal some more squares, then give you another clue, and so on. If you get it the first time, you get 10 points. If you get it the second time, you get 8 points. Third time, 6, and so on. Okay? So, let me just get this other document here where I've got my Guess Who clues. Right, okay, here we are. So, the first clue is that this person was born in 1951. Okay, so someone to do with Scottish football, born in 1951. Have a guess. Write a guess down. You can change your guess, but if you get it right this time, then you'll end up with 10 points. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to think of that. Somebody in Scottish football born in 1951 who looks like this. Write an answer. Wild guess. You've got to have a wild guess at this point, okay? Right, here's the second set of squares and the second clue. This person played for Scotland 52 times. 52 caps for Scotland. Who is that? Born in 51, played 52 times. So write down 8 points and your guess. This is for 8 points. The third clue for 6 points is that this person managed various English clubs, including Bristol City, Stoke City, and Portsmouth. So who is that? Scottish player, but went on to do management and managed Bristol City, Stoke City, and Portsmouth, including other clubs. So who is that? Born in 1951, played 52 times for Scotland, managed Bristol City, Stoke City, and Portsmouth. Guess now for 6 points. Okay. I think most of you have probably got it by now. Here's the 4 point, 4 point clue. Playing career took him from Blantyre Vicks all the way to AC Milan. You got it on the second. Nice one, Jamie. So that's for 4 points now. If you guess now and you get it right for the first time, then you get 4 points. And here comes the last clue. You can get rid of all the squares and give you the last clue. And he's the only player to score for Scotland in 3 different World Cup tournaments. And there's his entire face. So if you still don't get it, you get 0 points. But if you get it at this point, you get 2 points. So everyone's got a guess down. And I'll just tell you who it is. It's Joe Jordan. I don't have an answer there, but it's Joe Jordan. And I think most of you know that by now. So tell me how many points you got there. 8 points. So you got it on the played 52 times for Scotland one. Yeah, the first one was very difficult. Born in 51, just a bit of an ear. But played 52 times for Scotland. That's good to get it on that one. I don't think I would have got it on that one. I think I might got it on the management clue. 6 points for Michael. 10 for Brian. Straight in there. Excellent. Nobody beats the Oracle. Get 10 points as well. Nice one. 6s and 8s. That's good. It's good wee range of scores. Right, okay, we've got 2 rounds to go, I think. Or is that 1 round to go? There's no sponsor, no prize, because I don't have a sponsor at the moment. Mystery bag. I've not set up mystery bag. I'm not going to do that. Right, okay. So, double or bust. Right, no, it's the last round. Double or bust. So this round will decide who wins the quiz, really. Nice one, Count Rossi, getting on a wild guess. Right, double or bust is 4 points for right answer. 4. That's double. And, but you run the risk of going bust. If you put one wrong answer in this round, then you get 0 points for the round. To avoid getting bust, you can leave blanks. Alright, you don't have to answer every question. So you choose which ones to answer, choose which ones to leave blank, and you get 4 points for the ones you do get right. So you ready for this? It's all about how bold you're feeling, you know. Start off fairly easy in this last round. Out of business. Which league club went bust in 1967? Played their last game in the Scottish League in 1967. Went out of business that summer. Which league club was that? Four points for that one. Number 2 in the double or bust round is about managers. Which Scotsman was the Manchester United manager when they were relegated from English football's top flight in the early 1970s? So who was the boss of Man U at the point that it was that Man U were relegated in the early 1970s? Who was the manager? It was a Scotsman. Yeah, I think he did look a bit like David O'Leary in that picture, Michael, but I don't know if O'Leary's got anything to do with Scottish football. I might do one of these quizzes for a wider audience, do a UK football quiz, but like I was saying, I don't really know anything about English football. So, number 3, Stirling. Right, this is a tricky one here. Which building is featured on the club badge of Stirling Albion FC? Careful with that one. So which building is on the club badge of Stirling Albion FC? That is question number 3. Remember, you can leave blanks. If you're not sure, if you don't want to go bust, then you can leave blanks. Or you can just go wild and try and get it right. It's up to you. It depends on how your soul is operating today. Number 4 is about Scotland. Right, check this out. During which decade did the Scottish national football team bracket men's win its highest percentage of games? So basically, when was the Scottish football team good? 1970s, 1980s, or 1990s? So when did the Scottish national team win its highest percentage of games? Over which decade? The 70s, the 80s, or the 90s? When was Scotland dead good? Oh, happiness. Right, and the last one, true or false? Cheeky wee true or false to finish off. Dame Helen Mirren is an honorary director of the Scottish football club Saint Mirren. Is that true or false? So Helen Mirren has an honorary directorship of Saint Mirren. Is that true or false? You tell me when you're ready. I will quickly recap the questions. So which club went bust in 67 from the Scottish leagues, disappeared from the leagues? Who was the boss of Man U when they got relegated in the early 70s? Scottish guy. What building is on the badge of Stirling Albion. And number 4 was when was the Scottish national team most successful in terms of percentage of games won, 70s, 80s or 90s. And last one, Helen Mirren is a director of Saint Mirren. True or false? An honorary director. Okay, some people tell me that they are ready. A couple more people tell me you're ready, and then we'll get on to it. Thanks for doing the quiz, by the way. I do the quiz for tips. Quiz is free to you. You don't have to pay any money at all. But if you think it's worth tipping me £1 or £2, then that'd be great to get that. I've got a wee link. Link's in the description, but I'll stick the link in the chat as well. Thank you to everyone who donated previously. Really appreciate it. I'm a quiz master. I've been doing quizzes in pubs, but there are no pubs just now. Just like there's no Scottish football or any football. No, it's still got Belarusian football, but there's no football to go to. No pubs to drink in or to do quizzes in. So I've turned to doing quizzes online. And if you think it's worth £1 or £2, then I'd be delighted to get that off you. Thanks very much. Pay what you think it's worth. Okay, so who's ready? Patrick Conway's got the balls out. Going for all 5. You can only say balls out if you're going all 5. Answering 4 is not balls out. Because I've had people trying to do that before. They answer 4 and they're going, we're going balls out in the table. And it's no. 4's still quite cagey. Balls out is all 5. Bottled it on question 4. That's a difficult one. That's a difficult question, Jamie. That's the decades one. About when was Scotland any good? Well, Scotty has passed on 2 questions, and I think we're ready. I think 2 more people tell me they're ready, then I'll get into the answers. And if you're waiting for the others to answer, just make sure you like the video, because the likes really count. The likes help me. Try to get out to a larger audience, you know. Algorithms, shit like that, you know, it's good. Hey, Martin's claiming balls out. Brian's keeping the balls at least partially off the table. 1 ball out, aye, that's it. That's what it is. We know 3, but we're guessing 2. Nice one. That's a nice balance in this round. 5 balls. Is he from 5? That's terrific. Right, okay. Right, we're ready. Ready. Right, here we go. Who's going to get bust and who's going to come roaring through? Here come the answers. So, out of business. I think most of you will know this one. 1967. That's the third Lanark. The thirds. The high. Played at Cathkin Park. Third Lanark now exists as an amateur team or a junior team or something like that. And they're slowly building up Cathkin Park again, but bit of a sad story. But anyway, third Lanark. Managers. Who was the Scotsman in charge of Man U when they went down from the English top flight in the early 70s? That was Tommy Docherty. The year was 73-74. He was in charge just before and just after that. He got them back up the table, and I think he won the cup with him as well. There he is at the time. Tommy Docherty. 4 points. Right. Let's see what happened here. I think some of you might have got bust on this one. Which building is featured on the club badge of Stirling Albion FC? It is Wallace Monument. Now, I wonder if any of you said Stirling Castle. But it's Wallace Monument there, as you can see. Let me know if you got bust. Tell me what you got bust on. I don't know if I would have gone for that. I've got that. It's really familiar when I see it. That's right. Bobby Arse Biscuit. Drew Busby did score the last third Lanark goal. I was reading the story of it today. This morning. Balls intact so far, right? Okay. Scotland, right? Okay, this is difficult as well. Which decade did the Scottish national football team have its highest winning percentage? It's the 1990s. Craig Brown days. The team won 44% of its games in the 90s, which is kind of unthinkable now. But that's how good Scotland were in the 90s. Stands to reason as well. We qualified for 2 Euros, 92 and 96, and 1 World Cup. So that's a good record. You know, we never qualified for the Euros before that. Although I think that was Roxburgh. But Roxburgh and Craig Brown. Oh, bust again. A couple of people getting bust. Put Shankly. No. Shankly was at Liverpool, wasn't he? Did he manage anywhere else? I'm not sure. He said the 70s. Yeah, that's an easy one to make a mistake. Because you think of Scotland being great in the 70s, but they were only great in the 70s because England were shite. Because we qualified for 2 World Cups and they qualified for none. 80s, we qualified for both World Cups. It's a difficult question. But 90s was the right answer. And then the last one. True or false? I'm guessing some of you avoided this, but is Helen Mirren an honorary director of Saint Mirren? That's false. She's got nothing to do with Saint Mirren or Paisley or the people from Paisley, and she's never been there. And she says that out of all the teams in Scotland, she has the least time for Saint Mirren. 38 final score. Woohoo! Alright, tell me a final score. I'm going to give you the link to upload your scores, and I'll make a league table. There's all the answers together. Here is the link to upload your scores. I'm just about to post it. There we go. Do you think Shankly managed somewhere like Grimsby before Liverpool? Let's have a look. Let's have a very quick look on Wikipedia. Correctly, Mr. Shankly, this position I've held. Let's see. He managed, Grimsby is right. He managed Carlisle, then Grimsby for 3 years, then Workington, because they used to be a league team, then Huddersfield for 4 years, and then Liverpool, 59 to 74. So he was actually manager at Liverpool for a long time, 15 years. Well, a long time these days. Carlisle, Grimsby, Workington, Huddersfield, and Liverpool. That's a great lineup of northern teams, isn't it? Thanks for doing the quiz, everybody. Let's have a look at these scores that are coming in. 56 for Martin. 56 for Count Rossi. That's the highest I can see so far. Get your scores uploaded, and I'll make a league table. I'll put it on Dr. Paul Facebook in about half an hour. 59 for the Dude Abides. That could be another first place. Brian, despite the 120-minute after extra time, not including penalties confusion. $48 for now. No flower in Scotland. Can you see my stylophone? I'm not a pervert. There you go. There is some flour in Scotland now. 55 for the Rubber Gun Squad. 61 for Jamie Gray. That's a belter. That's the best one so far, I think. I think that's going to be the winner, maybe. Lefts, you were swithering 70s or 80s, so left it blank. Smart move in the end. 36, beat the score from last week. That's what it's all about. It's all about personal progress. Self-improvement. Right, good scores. Tell me if you liked the quiz or didn't like the quiz. Tell me what was easy, what was hard, and what was... do tell me if anything just doesn't work. Thank you, Raymond. Gracie Fields, yeah. Channel my Gracie. Please tell other people about the quiz. Numbers are relatively small at the moment, but I'm going to do this again next Saturday. I like putting this quiz together. I'm not a huge catalogue of Scottish football knowledge, but I know enough to get around it. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, please tell other people about it. Please share. Please inform them. And I'm doing quizzes all week. This is at the moment, this is the only specialist one. The others are general knowledge kind of thing. I got a little bit of what's coming up. Tomorrow night, I mentioned this at the start. Edinburgh versus Glasgow versus the rest of the world. General knowledge, 9 o'clock. Thank you, Groundhopper. I'm glad you said that. That's the difficult thing about setting a quiz. Try to get the difficulty right. So, you know, I know that people who are going to come and do this are interested in Scottish football. But you don't want to make it like you can only know it if you're one of those people that knows everything. You know what I mean? So, thank you. Right, I'm trying. That's the thing. Try to pitch the difficulty right. Anyway, tomorrow night, Edinburgh versus Glasgow. That's a different type of quiz. It's a shouting out quiz. It's quite chaotic. Thanks, Jamie. Cheers. Aye, so the shouting out quizzes is called Big Teams Quiz. It's very chaotic, quite good fun. And last time I did it, Edinburgh versus Glasgow. Edinburgh massacred Glasgow. It was a killing. 40 points to 19 or something like that, you know. So hoping that a few more Glasgow people will turn up on Sunday night, make a bit more of a game of it. And of course, the rest of the world are involved. If you're from the rest of the world, you can play for the rest of the world. Last Sunday we had men versus women versus the rest of the world, and the rest of the world were the winners there. Try to upload again. Yeah, let me see. I'll just post the link for uploading the scores one more time. It's just a wee form. It's Google Forms. And, you know, a lot comes through. A couple of people were saying last night, because I do quizzes pretty much every night, stand-up pub quizzes, either here or on Facebook. Some people said they tried to upload the score but it didn't come through, so... But it's working for plenty of people. Just make sure you hit submit or something like that, or enter, or whatever word they use. Sunday 9 o'clock. Aye, that's tomorrow night. No quiz for me tonight. That's my only quiz for today. So that's... I need to do some development stuff. Thank you, High Bees Home Alone. Yeah, I will. I'm keeping it up. I've got no choice. It's either this or I can go out foraging. You know what I mean? So... any help from you sharing things is much welcomed. You know, if you tell any people you know on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, just tell them. I'm glad there's a gender battle aspect to this, Ollie, because our women aren't bothered with it. Lads. Although I did notice that somebody's wife was responsible for getting 2 points on David Shrigley earlier on. Sometimes, in terms of the sexes, we're better together. Sometimes we're better off independent. It's just a case of knowing when. Have I got anything else on here? Subscribe. There's a fairly brutal call to action. Subscribe. Subscribe and click the bell, and then you get a notification when a quiz is coming. Thank you. There's the donation thing. Can you post a donation link? Yes, I will. Definitely do that, Patrick. Absolutely. Because I've got no money, and I'm going to die, and I might lose some weight first, which would be quite good, because there'll be no food, but I'd rather be alive and fat. We'll be back tomorrow, try and get some new Glasgows. Yeah, get the Glasgow people in. I want a real battle tomorrow night. I want a real close one. I don't want another Edinburgh walkover. It was a little bit tedious. I'm 50-50. I lived in Glasgow for 17 years. Absolutely loved it. Lived in Edinburgh when I was a teenager, and I've been back in Edinburgh now for about 10 years. And I've finally got round to liking Edinburgh again. So I'm right down the middle. I'm like Hart Hill. I'm definitely not Hart Hill, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So no football. Christ almighty. Does anyone watch Belarusian football? Is there any point in it? Probably not. There's a great thing. I mean, we're on YouTube right now. There's so much good stuff on YouTube. Old stuff. I watched a belter the other night. I watched 1968 Cup game at Tannadice. Dundee United 5, Hearts 6. Bob Crampsey commentating. Absolutely outstanding. Next Saturday, I've worked out how to record sound off YouTube, right? So next Saturday, I might have commentaries as one of the rounds. Be quite good. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to get out of here. And I did say there was going to be prizes, didn't I? I've not worked anything out. I'm just going to leave it. There'll be prizes next week, okay? If you know anybody who's got a business they want to promote, get them to get in touch with me, and I'll put them in the sponsor space. They don't have to pay me any money. If they can supply a prize, that's enough. And it doesn't even have to be a big prize. Just a wee prize, you know, just to add a bit of spice. Anyway, I'm going to go and look at the uploads, the scores. I'll go and put them into a league table. And I'll see you later. I'll put them on Dr. Paul Facebook. Thanks for doing the quiz. And good night. Good night. Good afternoon. See you later.